Is the number one website for education in the Philippines, or for distance education? What's the number one website for toys, for kids, for selling books, for music? It's very hard to say what these properties are, and the fact that no dominant name or idea comes to mind means that there's an opportunity today to own that position, and run with it, and become a dominant force in that space. I look at the first website I ever built in 1999, Pinoy Exchange. Oh my God, this is the screenshot. Yes, it's pretty sad. I did that myself, by the way. Of course, this was a 1999 design. Never really. It didn't stop there. So disclaimer. And I remember in 99 and moving down to 2000 and the mid 2000s, we would look at all of the other sites in the space that had grown and emerged. And here's a kind of like a rundown of some of the sites that are really dominant in their spaces. Of course, there's this one. Obviously, everybody wishes that they were Google, or probably work for Google as well. But at the same time, you have websites, still very big internet portals like Yahoo. The largest storefront in the world is Amazon.com. It's the world's largest online store, sells more books than any brick and mortar provider. This is an interesting website. It's a site called Craigslist, which is a classifieds website in the US, but it's largely responsible. It's the prime suspect as to why the US newspaper industry is dying. Because of this website, people no longer buy classified ads. And for US newspapers, that's big money. That's big money lost. And that's why a lot of these, slowly, you see newspapers closing down all over the US because of this website. So you have all of these sites, right? You've got Google, you've got Amazon, you've got Yahoo. All right. And then I take you to another bunch of websites, websites for brands. It's really a fundamentally different philosophy. If you took 90 seconds for a page to load, there's something problematic about the website and the way that it reaches people. Yet this is the type of website that tends to get accepted if you pitch it out to a client or something like that. Would you accept this design if you said, okay, I need a website for my brand. Here you go. This is it. Would you accept it? This is something very rough, something very simple. I think if I pitched this to a client, they would run me out of the room and beat me with a stick. But at the same time, if you take this layout, it's at its core, it's YouTube. Again, one of the biggest websites globally. So why, a lot of brands envy the success of, great institutional websites, the Facebooks, the Yahoos of this world. But at the same time, when they come to building a website, parang different questions get asked. And sometimes they ask, if you're a marketer and you really don't know any better, maybe you're asked, is the website consistent with my brand? Maybe that's the only question you ask. And yet there are so many other subtle questions that need to be asked if you want to build like a successful online presence. One of the things to look at in the next couple of, maybe for your next website, or if you're considering a website presence, these are a couple of things to think about. Number one, is your website interoperable? One of the things that we're going to see is that we have no idea what people are going to be browsing our internet presences on. Is it going to be browsed on your normal widescreen laptop? Is it going to be browsed on your iPhone? Is it going to be browsed on your mobile device? Is it going to be browsed on your PlayStation Portable? I mean, it could literally be anything. Even the Nintendo Wii has a website browser. Are you going to be browsing it from the side of your refrigerator on a TV screen? Diba? It's hard to say. Will it have a touchscreen? Won't it have a touchscreen? Will it just have a ball interface? There's so many possibilities. And we have to, the challenge here is we have to be ready for each of them. Does the website load quickly? You literally have 10 seconds to make a person stay on a website. If not, there's this thing called, there's an internet statistic if you're reviewing websites called the bounce rate. These are the percentage of the visitors that you get on your website that just go there and then say, no, this is, within like 10 seconds you're gone. So you literally have 10 seconds to make a person stay, or else you're going to start bleeding visitors or bleeding users. And if your website hasn't loaded by then, that's a perfectly good reason for people to get turned off. And if you're in this market, in this economy, it's very important for your website to load quickly. This is actually one of my favorite brand websites ever. And I remember that there was this ad agency that brought in like this overseas guy from the UK, and he showed off this website to us at this conference. And it was a really cool website, really funny. It's called shaveeverywhere.com, literally everywhere. And it used a lot of web video. And the website was really funny and great, except it had one big problem. It took 5 minutes to load for his presentation, which really spells out the need to tailor your website offering to an emerging market. There are so many great things that you can do online, but you really have to create alternatives, because somewhere in the Philippines there is a internet cafe on a single smart bro connection being shared across 10 computers. And that's literally that. When you go down to an individual computer, that's dial-up speed already. And so all of this rich media, all of this crazy multimedia, they're not going to be able to view it optimally. And so you have to tailor the experience to the lowest common denominator. One group that has actually done that is Yahoo. Not only is their website very simple, very easy to load, but they've actually made a decision to, for instance, on Yahoo Mail, you can't do like crazy video type advertising there. They won't allow it for emerging markets anymore. Another question to look at is, does your website have a clear action point? I guess no other website has a clear action point than Google's, where you can either search or I'm feeling lucky. The core experience of Google is a simple search box. There's no deviation. You don't have to jump through any hoops. You don't have to look, I wonder what I should do here. There's no guesswork involved in operating this website. And so it's very clear. This is something we took to heart actually when we built our call center recruitment site. We built it's a side business of ours called Pinoy Agents. And it's really simple. We just wanted people to sign up on the site. And so instead of having a description, then click here to sign up, we really just put the sign up form on the home page, no mistakes. Even if you don't browse a single second page, andun ang form. And even if you a lot of the other recruitment websites at the time would actually make you kind of jump through hoops, because first they'd ask you to upload your resume or fill up your entire life story on a website. In this case, we built a we just said, okay, all we need to know about you on page 1 is your first name, your last name, your mobile number, and your email address. 4 questions. And if we like you, if you want to continue, you can fill in the rest of your life story on page 2. But on page 1, at the very least, even if you stop on page 2 and you don't fill up any of that other content, it's all there now. It's we've already captured your information, and so we can already have a conversation with you about possibly recruiting you.
Sa nakakapamaluktot na headache at pain, ito sa wakas ang sagot. New Medicol Advance. Meron itong IBU fluid. Dissolve na to, kaya mabilis ma-absorb. At dahil advance umepekto, advance ang bilis, advance ang relief. Kaya ang nakakapamaluktot na headache at pain, natutuwid. New Medicol Advance with IBU fluid. Ito ang advance. Sa nakakapamaluktot